Breaking: an attack in the Red Sea has sunk an Indian vessel near Yemeni waters, raising fresh alarm over maritime security. The Indian cargo vessel MSV Faiz Nuroliya reportedly capsized and sank after being struck during its voyage near Yemen. Reports claim the Indian cargo vessel was hit by a projectile while sailing close to Yemeni waters, triggering a major rescue operation. All 14 seafarers aboard the cargo vessel were reportedly rescued in a swift operation carried out by the Yemen Coast Guard. Among those rescued were 13 Indian nationals, who were safely brought ashore and taken to Yemen's port of Mocha. India has strongly reacted to the incident, calling for an immediate end to the growing wave of attacks on commercial shipping. India's shipping minister has condemned what he described as an unprovoked attack on the Indian cargo vessel in the Red Sea. The attack on the Indian vessel comes amid escalating tensions between Yemen's Houthi rebels and Saudi Arabia in the Red Sea region. Houthi drones wreak havoc inside Saudi Arabia once again, opening yet another dangerous front in the rapidly escalating regional conflict. Saudi Arabia's Nadran airport has reportedly come under fresh Houthi drone attack, raising new concerns over the kingdom's air defenses. The Houthis claim a precision drone strike successfully hit a sensitive asset inside Saudi Arabia's Nadran airport during the latest operation. The latest Houthi strike appears to be a tit-for-tat response after Riyadh allegedly carried out drone operations inside Yemeni territory. Yahya Saree said, and I quote, "By the grace of God, the Yemeni armed forces have succeeded in targeting a sensitive asset of the Saudi enemy at Nadran airport using a drone, with the strike being precise. This targeting comes in response to the Saudi enemy's violation of the airspace in the provinces of Sada and Hajjah using its drones. We affirm to the Saudi enemy that any violation of our airspace will not go unpunished or without retaliation." Iran-backed Houthis send a fresh warning after Saudi oil tankers reportedly broke through the group's declared maritime blockade. Saudi Arabia's ultimatum to Trump appears to have stopped his biggest planned Iran attack in its tracks, with Riyadh pressing Washington to hold back just as the Houthis tested Saudi oil routes. 2 tankers carrying Saudi crude broke the Houthis' Bab el-Mandeb blockade, slipping out of the Red Sea with their trackers switched off. As Lesvos and Desh Vaibhav went dark and slid past Yemen's coast as Trump made a U-turn on Iran, shelving intense strikes. 2 tankers carrying Saudi crude quietly crossed the Bab el-Mandeb chokepoint on August 1st and 2nd, defying Houthi threats that had turned the southern Red Sea into a declared war zone. The tankers Lesvos and Desh Vaibhav transited with their AIS tracking system switched off, effectively going dark to reduce their visibility as they slipped past Yemen's missile and drone envelope. Shipping data showed Lesvos was loaded with around 1 million barrels of Saudi crude, underscoring how even single voyages through the strait now carry high-stakes volumes of oil. Desh Vaibhav, meanwhile, was hauling roughly 2 million barrels of Saudi crude to India, highlighting how refiners in Asia are still willing to accept elevated risk to secure supplies. In contrast, a tanker carrying Russian naphtha elected to divert around Africa to avoid the Red Sea route entirely, opting for a longer, costlier journey rather than face the Houthi threat corridor. These movements came after the Houthis declared a maritime embargo against Saudi Arabia on July 20th, vowing to target vessels linked to the kingdom in an eye-for-an-eye response. That embargo effectively opened a new front in the Iran war, shifting part of the conflict onto Red Sea shipping lanes and Saudi export routes instead of just missile duels over land. Since then, traffic through Bab el-Mandeb has fallen sharply, with CLR data showing only 18 commodity vessels transiting on August 2nd, down from typical flows just days earlier. Shipping traffic through the Strait of Hormuz has also slowed after reported tanker attacks, signaling that both of the Gulf's critical energy chokepoints are now under sustained pressure. On August 1st, only 10 commodity vessels passed through Hormuz, according to CLR figures, a number that illustrates how quickly risk can choke off normal flows. UK maritime authorities have reported 3 tanker attacks since August 1st, adding to insurers' alarm and reinforcing the sense that commercial shipping is now on the front line of the conflict. At the same time, Gaslog has reported a security incident involving its LNG tanker Gaslog Shanghai, bringing gas carriers into the list of assets facing direct threat in regional waters. Taken together, these disruptions have raised fresh concerns over global energy shipping routes, with analysts warning that prolonged Houthi and Iran-linked attacks could force a structural rerouting of oil and gas around Africa. Meanwhile, Donald Trump made a sharp U-turn just days after threatening intense new strikes on Iran, abruptly canceling the planned attacks.
So go ahead.
What prompted you to call off the strikes last night?
I was asked to by Saudi Arabia, by UAE, and by Qatar, and by Iran. all set to go. It's about at this time right now. And it would have been a massive attack. We're all set to go. But when the Allies asked to call it off, you got to sort of say, well, let's see. And the reason they asked is I think there's a deal. There's a deal on Hormuz, and then there will be a deal on the nuclear, or you might call it the denuclearization of Iran. I call it the denuclearization of Iran.
What should we expect?
We're holding it. We'll just see. We can do it anytime we want. But we were asked by the three primary groups. We were also asked by Iran, very strongly actually. They said, we'd like to make a deal. Now, I don't know what they say, because a lot of times they'll say that to me, and then they'll go out and say, we don't know what he's talking about. Obviously, they don't want to be attacked. And they knew the extent of the attack because they saw it forming.
What happens now?
Now what we're doing is we're talking to them in the form of a negotiation. It begins tomorrow afternoon, and we'll see if it's true. I'd love to do that, save a lot of lives, save a lot of unnecessary power, to be honest with you. Take many, many years to ever build it back. If it could, I don't think it would be even buildable back. So we had an attack that would be the biggest attack since World War II, and it would have been disastrous for them. And they didn't want us to do it. And frankly, Saudi Arabia didn't want it either. They thought that a deal is imminent. And the deal is imminent, having to do with the Hormuz Strait and also ultimately the denuclearization. So when I hear that, I say, well, do we want to go and be this? Now, there's a group of people that would like me to just do it. And there's another group of people that does not want me to do it.
Does Iran have a deadline to come to an agreement?
We'll just see how it is. We're ready to go anytime we want. Would I rather make a deal? I'm not looking to kill people. Because people die, a lot of people die. And we don't want that. So they asked us, Iran specifically, but the other three said I asked Saudi Arabia, the king. I said, the crown prince, I said, what would you rather do? Would you rather have us do this or not? They said, we would much prefer a deal as opposed to an attack. Because you don't know where these attacks lead. I mean, will they be flooded with people pouring into their country and disaster? A lot of bad things can happen.
Sir, there's a report that you're moving U.S. troops out of Bahrain and Kuwait. Are troops being moved out of the Middle East?
Mr. President, why is the U.S. intervening to support the Japan yen at this time? To support the Japanese currency?
Because we have a good relationship with Japan. We're very strong, very, very strong financially. They have a weakening yen, and they wanted a little bit of help, and we're always there for Japan. Japan's been very good to us, with the exception, of course, of Pearl Harbor.
Mr. President, what is the U.S. getting out of that arrangement?
Financial benefit. Financial benefit. It's also good for the world economy. But we make, when we did with Argentina, I got criticized, we made $25 billion on that deal. With Venezuela, we make hundreds of billions of dollars.